Okay, so for contact center deployment strategies, I want to show you a page here, and this is the main landing page for the Service Cloud for Salesforce. They talk about call center management. You can watch a demo, but the main thing that you're going to learn throughout the duration of this course, and as it relates to implementation strategies, is how all these different solutions come into play. And so what I mean by these different solutions are the different channels, the different interaction channels that you can be involved in, and then as well even these customer portals or communities. And there's so many different ways that you can provide support now, and Salesforce can handle all this. And so this page gives you just a high-level overview of what the Service Cloud can do. And so I think it's important that you understand and can differentiate between the Sales Cloud and the Service Cloud, for example. And so this is really a mindset flip if you're new to just a service-based environment, because it's not a profit center, it's a cost center. And providing customer support is vital to companies in order to succeed long-term. And so these sorts of resources will help you to understand the holistic solution that the Service Cloud provides. And so, for example, they've got information around how to deliver support across multiple channels. You'll see a lot to do with mobile. And here's 20 customer service best practices. It's an ebook. You can click that and check that out. And then here's more on KCS. We've talked about KCS before, and that's knowledge-centered support. There's examples and case studies on how other companies have done this. There's this company known as AOL that still actually exists. America Online used to be big in the 90s, and they're still around, and they've deployed knowledge to boost their own agent productivity, for example. And there's mention of the Lightning Console. And so you can watch a replay of a webinar that went into how AOL deployed KCS in their own environment. And then as well, and all these things we're going to be covering in this course, and this all speaks to these implementation strategies. And so you can track entitlements and service contracts. One of the first things that you do as a service agent in a call center is you check the entitlements for the account that this person is calling for to see if they're entitled to support or not. And so that's where entitlements and service contracts come into play, and we're going to be covering all that as well. And then as well, omni-channel support that has to do with the intelligent routing of cases based on skills of your agents and the different channels that these support tickets come in, such as websites, mobile apps, text or SMS messaging, social media, and even live video. And so we're going to be going into all that as well throughout the duration of this course. And you can also manage process with workflow and approvals. And so then finally, when we're talking about implementation strategies, I want to show you this diagram that's found in actually a SOAP API guide for Salesforce. There's a PDF version of this. I'll link to this in the resources section, but this is helpful in showing you the differences and the different objects you're going to be dealing with when it comes to support, which means the Service Cloud. And that is compared and contrast to sales objects, which would be Sales Cloud. And so this is a very useful ERD diagram to show you some of the overlap of some of the common objects that are in the Sales Cloud and the Service Cloud. So if I go to support objects, you see that there's some of these objects such as Vote that you may not be familiar with, and you see things related to knowledge and newsfeed and knowledge articles. We see case history and contact records and entitlements and contract line items, case milestones. And so we're getting into contracts and entitlements. And so you need to know about these different objects as it relates to each other and how it relates to the Service Cloud. And so be sure and check out the support objects ERD diagram in the resources section of this lecture, and keep that in mind and become familiar with what is possible with Salesforce, what the different objects are intended for, and that will guide you in providing your own deployment strategies for consulting engagements that you find yourself doing in the Service Cloud, and also inform your decisions on how to answer the exam questions for the Service Cloud Consultant exam. And so now that we've rounded out the implementation strategy section of this course, it's time for a practice activity, and that's the optional Trailhead modules. And these are recommended hands-on exercises that you can get more experience and apply what you're learning. Some of these concepts that you're learning, getting the hands-on experience to cement this in your mind. And as I've mentioned before, these are optional Trailhead trails and modules that you can do. And then we'll round out this section with this section level quiz, and then we'll go on to the next section.